know that all too well.
Sorry, I hear it. Brian says something. I have to make sure I hear him. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you so very much for joining our August meeting for our Old Speedway City Neighborhood Association. We appreciate you guys coming because I know we had a couple months off. In June, we had our picnic, which was great turn. And then we also had a really good turnout for our ice cream social in July. So we're happy to be back with our general presentations. We do have one that's for October, November, and December, but keep in mind we don't have a meeting in September because it's Labor Day. We also are having our committee sale. With that, we want to introduce actually one of our members, Janet Fullen, who is going to talk about the Buy Nothing project, and especially for the Speedway area. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Janet Fullen, and I am a resident of Speedway. I've lived here since 1997. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the Buy Nothing project. It is certainly not my project. It's an actual worldwide project, and it is a gift economy where their mantra is where you buy less and share more and make the planet cleaner. Their sole purpose for the community, it was started by two ladies that are good friends, and they were out on a beach and they were picking up trash, and they noticed clothing and plastics and trash, and they were just putting together their ideas, and they decided they wanted to found a project that would have the mission of bringing communities together, keeping the communities clean, and sharing items so that they don't end up out in the waterways and on the beaches. Let's see here. In a nutshell, they say that they want to buy nothing, to offer people a way to give and receive, share, lend, express gratitudes. But the true wealth of the whole project is that the web of connections that are created amongst the people and communities. The founders are Liesl Clark and Rebecca Rockefeller. They've also written a book. The book is wonderful if you ever get a chance to get your hands on it. It's really good reading. They talk about their project, but they also go into, what's the matter? Yeah, I'm so sorry. She's going to help me with this IT stuff.
Nope.
What does that do?
There we go. So you just hit this to go to the next slide. I'm sorry. So that way they can see your other stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for helping me with that. So anyway, they want to create a mindset in their community to decrease consumerism, which if you're like me or like most people, we are in a huge mindset of consumerism in this country. They want to give items a new life, rehome them to your neighbors, your community, your friends, so that they don't end up in the trash, the dumpsters, and the waterways. This is a little different than what I was used to, Gillian. Now I'm working on it. Okay, so their principles, I'm not going to go read through all this, is honesty, sharing, giving freely. And the idea is to give freely. You don't monetize anything. Don't consider that one item is worth more than another. All gifts are created equal, and that all communities have abundance, no matter the size of the community or the demographics. By the numbers on their website, according to the Buy Nothing Project website, there are 6.5 million Buy Nothing community members. Now, this is worldwide. 13,000 amazing Buy Nothing community builders, 7,500 Buy Nothing communities worldwide. They also have an app, but there's 450 downloads for that, and they exist solely for the purpose of building communities. And they believe that the real wealth in the community is the people, and that's true. The Wall Street Journal did an article on the Buy Nothing groups, and they call it an antidote to inflation, and especially with all the supply chain issues we've all seen and the worsening economy. These groups are having a moment, and they're adding about 2 million participants in the past year, and that was 2021. So the Guardian interviewed the two founders, and they say that a banana and concrete are good gifts. Anything is a good gift. In our community, we've given away bananas, concrete, bricks, boards, boxes, blocks, food, clothing, power tools, everything. It's a pretty amazing project they've created. This was an interesting statistic I found, and kind of appalling, that the average American home is filled with more than 300,000 items. So how do we handle all that stuff? Well, if you run out of space, you get a storage space and rent it. It goes to the basement, it goes into closets, under beds, and really, when that happens, it's just not useful stuff anymore. It's just basically your junk and your stuff that you've collected and you're probably not even looking at or dusting. And then another statistic is that 85% of all textiles end up in the garbage dumps, or they get burned in landfills. Yeah, I don't know how we can keep that kind of economy going. The Buy Nothing Speedway Facebook group. So we have a Buy Nothing Speedway face group here. We are not joining on to the, or we haven't worked on putting anything in with the downloaded app, because I look at that and I'm not real sure how that would work for our community, because it looks like it widens way out. So for now, we are a Speedway only Facebook group. You have to live in Speedway to join. There are currently over 1,000 members. There's about 1,100 members. I started it in 2019. My daughter kept talking about it for like a year. She lives in San Diego, and she would say, "Mom, you've got to start one." And I'd say, "But I only know like 20 Speedway people on Facebook." And she goes, "Well, just try it, and if it doesn't work, you can always delete it." So I put it up, and by that July, we had over 70 members, and by Christmas, we had over 100. I thought that was fantastic. But now we've got 1,000, and I'm not going to say everybody's active, but it's a pretty active group. I was looking at it like since the weekend, and of course, we had a race here, so I don't know how active people were, but there were like 25 postings of just people asking for things or offering things, which is really, really good for this town. Anyway, we have one administrator, that's me, and 2 moderators, and then you just search Facebook to find it, or you can be invited by somebody and just say that you'll go along with the group rules, and you're in. Basically, it's an easy group. They're very nice people. It's no negativity. Everybody posts very nice things, or even things that you think nobody would ever take. They get taken somehow, and people always find use for anything that you could want. It's a really amazing group of people, male, female. The demographics, you're supposed to be 21 years old. And I know that we've got some 18 to 21s in there. I'm not going to try to weed them out. We just have to be careful not to give them alcohol, because you can give alcohol away, and alcohol has been given away on there before. But that's basically the group rules. Here's just a picture of a couple of items that have been given away. I was the recipient of that bicycle down in the bottom for my grandson. And people give away food. They give away vintage albums. They're thankful for getting help. People, the bottom left one, I'm looking for 2 laptops for a theater production. we had a non-working one and we gave it to her. She was thrilled. I hope she got the other one. And that's just a small sampling of some of the gifts. And so Buy Nothing Speedway, we're still growing and giving and asking, and we're very grateful for each other. We closely follow the Buy Nothing ideals of the national and worldwide group, and the ideals of the two great women that started this project. They are truly amazing women. And this is a job for them, and it's an unpaid job, and they've done a great thing with it. Anyway, if anybody has any comments or questions? Yes?
My comment is I'm happy to see that you ask us to delete a post that has been filled.
Well, now that you bring that up, actually the founders say don't delete anything.
Right.
Because they said it's good for the community to look back and see what's been given and what's been offered. But it seems like the members like to have the post deleted. So, you know, this is our group, and can make our own rules that way.
Somebody had asked, so you don't put a price on anything,
Nothing.
but if you have to kind of like say, you know, like, how do you kind of express then the quality of the item? Like, this usually costs like $50.
No.
I'm getting it for free.
Nothing-
is there
nothing
is
has
there other
monetary.
ways to, like, describe it so they kind of understand
Yeah.
what it is?
So if you're talking about a stuffed animal, this is a great stuffed animal. It's this is one of the big things, a clean, non-smoking home for something like that. That's a textile, because that's hard to get out. But there's, like they said, a banana is worth as much as a concrete, and a laptop cord is worth as much as a laptop. There's no money ever thought about. And that is one thing, we don't talk about the money. So if someone says, I need to get a dresser, and then we were having the problem where someone would say, well, I saw one over at Goodwill for what? Well, no, we don't want that. The purpose is for everybody just to give freely and say, oh, well, wait a minute, I might know someone who has one. And it's the gifting.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing that you have put up there, maybe explain, somebody was talking about how to be safe when somebody's picking up something, or if you're putting something out. Like, how are you like making sure that you're safe?
That was a big concern of mine at the beginning. On our website, it says, or our Facebook page, we recommend that you use the e-commerce sites here at town. They're wonderful. They're monitored all the time. However, I've gotten to the point, I don't usually put my address out when I'm giving something. I'll say I'll PM you, and I'll PM someone, and I just set it out. There's no face-to-face with me. There's no face-to-face with me. And I think a lot of people do that. They'll say, I've got a big lot, and they'll photograph a big lot, and it's on my porch, and that's my address. And people just come up and grab stuff.
Then they said, where is there some e-commerce places?
The e-commerce sites,
Yeah.
they are at this building on the south side, on the east end. There's 2 spots that are specifically marked e-commerce, and there is a camera that monitors those 2 sites. I have used them. Yeah.
Is there any others? Like, that's the one that you've used. If you want to find an e-commerce spot in Speedway, is there a place to go to figure that out, like a website?
Those are the only 2 spots that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And the police department monitors it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long have you seen something on your Facebook? Like, how long does it usually take for them to like pick up stuff?
Well, of course, it depends on what it is. Food will go fast. Yesterday, I put on my daughter. She likes corn tortillas, and I don't. And they left, and I hadn't even touched them. And I put it on there, and within an hour, somebody wanted them. So I hung them up outside, and she came and grabbed them. And some things can take longer. It depends. Little knick-knack things will take longer. It just depends on what it is. Yeah.
What's a random number generator? You know, some people say they'll use a random number generator to pick a name from many.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know how they do that.
Okay.
I literally eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or I put it like I have little numbers and I stick them in the jar and I just take one out and whatever number that person is, that.
Oh, so that's if you have like multiple people asking.
Yes. So
Okay.
the idea isn't to take the first person and at first everybody was doing that, the first person, but some people stay on their computer and you can tell. They're always the first person because maybe their job is on the computer or maybe their computer's always on, and some people work and they can't do that. So it felt like a little unfairness. And the founders say, let your items simmer. Where my daughter lives, nobody gets to get anything for like 24 hours. They all wait, and they'll do what, I don't know how they do a random number generator, but like the old eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or pick the number out, or just like look at it sometimes and pick. I've done that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's fair that way. But unless someone has a true need,
Yeah.
like I'm hungry and I need, food, and there's food there, you're going to hopefully choose that person. Yeah.
So like from your website, when you say personal, like PM, like it's a personal message to that person.
Yeah, on Facebook. You can, and we recommend that when someone puts something up, you don't PM them yourself and say, I want this. You should be invited to PM someone, or unless you're giving it away, then you can say, I will PM you on Facebook and tell you my address.
And then I guess the last thing I said too, it is a private group, so you have to be invited to join. So,
Or you can search it. It's searchable.
okay,
So if you put in Facebook on the search bar and put Buy Nothing Speedway, it should come up and you should be able to get on and answer the questions. Do I live in Speedway? You give an address, and you have to give your address. Carol, the moderator, she has, however, whatever ability she has, she can check to see who lives where. Unless sometimes it's rental property, it's a little more challenging, but she'll try to research and figure out if they do live in Speedway. Because we've had plenty of people that we've found out that have got, and I know that they want a group, and if they complain to me, I'll tell them, look for a group in your area or get on the app, download the app and see what you can get, or start a group in your area. You can start one on your street. And then the next thing you know, the next street will join you. You can, it's small, but you can do it. Yeah.
Some of the boundaries of Speedway are very convoluted.
Yes.
And as long as I've lived here, I'm not certain which side of which apartments are.
I know. That's
jurisdiction.
been a big challenge, and I accidentally declined somebody. She said she lived at something Main Street, and I said, there's no such address as that. I should have looked it up because there was. It was
Up in the 20s and 22.
yeah, and I felt so bad. And then I couldn't remember her, and at the time I didn't know how to go back and search my activity. So I don't know if she ever got back in. But I hope, if you're here listening, I hope you get in. Okay, well, thank you for letting me talk. I have a big passion for this project, and I hope others will join that live in town and give, ask, and receive freely. Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I know Speedway is so good as a community, because I know on some other Facebook groups there's just always just a wealth to share with everybody. I know, like the Real Women of Speedway, people put stuff up, and people, a lot of people are like, thank you so much for that suggestion. So I'm so glad we have another community group that is just helping our neighbors, and that's something that we do here at the Neighborhood Association as well. I do just want to, share just a little bit of what's going on for the month of August and September, and I'm really glad you're here, Janet, because I'm going to ask you a little bit of questions about the community sale. So we are just looking at the fact that the last time we met was in May, and so we do have some minutes from that meeting. I will send that to the members so you guys get a chance to look at that, because we are not going to vote tonight. We are standing at a good amount of our financial report. I do believe last time we were looking, it was $2,645.50. But Barb Hellier, who is our treasurer, I will make sure I get the right amount, but we have a nice amount for us. You know, with the fact that our membership is a little low this year, we're just making sure that we are making the right financial decisions. So most of our funds for this year are just going for our community sale, and also just for just our memberships to CUNY and NRC. So we are being very light with our purchases this year. What's coming up is our September community sale, which I am looking forward to. We've already had quite a few people contact us on Facebook about wanting to join. So in just a second, I'm going to ask for a little bit more detail about what they need to do. And then October 3rd, we will have our political forum. We are looking to invite our local election candidates. And so we're mostly looking at inviting our state representative. There is a lot of redistricting happened over the year, so we're going to make sure that we have our candidates coming in that are going to actually be representing Speedway. And then we do have a couple of Marion County officials that are for our local elections. I still would like to invite them because they represent us as well. And then just keeping in mind that please vote. If you haven't registered to vote, Indy.gov/vote is an excellent website to go to if you need to check on your voting registration or check and see where you can and where you should vote. So with the community sale, Janet, what do people need to do if they want to be a part of the community sale?
Well, anyone can be a part of the sale. They don't have to do anything but have a sale.
Okay.
If they want to be included in the spreadsheet that we send it out to members only. It would be to the Old Speedway neighborhood.
So our website.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, not our website, our email. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know it offhand?
Yes, I do.
OldSpeedwayNeighborhood@AOL.com.
Okay.
So if you're not in the association, you can put your address in. However, you won't get an email probably returned because it just goes out to group members, but that's okay. You
Okay.
can also email that specifically and say, will you send me a copy of it?
Okay.
Have your sale.
We have had some people posting on Facebook. Can I share that information with you, or should I just keep on saying, please just email us your address?
It's better to email it, and then it's all in one spot, and I make a folder, and I can keep track of who's on it, and yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And I will put that on the post, a Facebook post saying, like, if you really want to have your address listed, please just email us. And so it is the Old Speedway Neighborhood at AOL.com. But thank you so much for the information.
So there was one other thing, and this, I'm gonna try, and I will see if I can work it out. I found a neighborhood, I can't remember if it was Linwood, when I was doing our Instagram, and they had a map with their sales, and they were marked. And
All
she
right.
said there's a way, some place that you can go and do that, and I'll try to do that.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then the only thing is too, we do register, we do put out advertising for it. Usually we have like a sign that goes on the trail. Is there anything else that you need or that you do just to make sure that everybody's ready for this community sale?
Well, I signed the sale up at the town hall.
Okay.
And personal individuals do not need to do that. We do that for the neighborhood. If you live in the neighborhood, then your sale is okay.
Okay.
You don't have to come down and sign it up.
Okay.
And it does not count against the ones that you, what do you get, 4 a year that you can have on your own. This one doesn't count against that.
Okay, that's great. I'm glad they were able to provide
Yeah.
that.
And we'll put a few signs out, like I got 4 signs I can put like in corners of the neighborhood, and then we have the large yard sign.
Okay.
And then they can put sales up there. So.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. And we do know, just like, we belong to some other community organizations. So I know Speedway Trails are working really hard and making the trails. They're going up and down 10th Street. And so that might change. I know that they are starting to have a lot of construction, so please be careful over there. The historic Urban Neighborhoods of Indianapolis is one of our community organizations that we belong to as well. And they actually are going to have one of their quarterly meetings coming up, so we'll be able to share some information. I know that CUNY has been focusing a lot on the 65-70 split because that is affecting a lot of historic neighborhoods over there. So if you have any interest about what's going on with that and how that's affecting the neighborhoods, you can always get in touch with CUNY. Actually, their website is cuny.org. The Speedway Arts Council are doing a great job with the murals. And then, like I said, we do have a new Speedway Facebook page, which is the Speedway Garden Club. And I know they have actually been posting to see if people are interested in helping clean up some of our community gardens. They want to work on kind of cleaning up the little community pocket garden where the Seeds of Light are near the roundabout, but they're also having plans on doing something for the Leonard Park as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff out there. And then the Indianapolis Neighborhood Resource Center always is available to give us any information that we might need to make our neighborhood association better. Last thing, I just want to remember and remind all of our members and those who are watching, Speedway schools start tomorrow. Get rid of my kids. So I know that does affect a lot of people, especially who are commuting. So please just be aware that, we have 4 elementary schools, 1 junior high, and 1 high school. So all of those kids are walking or driving to the schools. So just be mindful of that. They have the August 2nd as well. The BC 39 draft party is on Main Street from 6 to 9, and there are road closures on Main Street for that party. The summer concert at Meadowood Park is August 4th, and that usually starts at, I think, 7 p.m., as well as the market in the Meadowood Park, which usually starts at 5 p.m. The Speedway Animal Rescue Fundraiser Concert is at Meadowood. Oop, there was a little bit of a typo, I'm sorry to say. And that is going to be on August 6th. August 8th and August 22nd is our town council meetings, and August 20th, the 2022 West Indy Art and Music Festival at the Meadowood Park starts at 1 p.m. We will have our next meeting on October 3rd, 2022 at the Speedway Municipal Center or on Speedway Community TV YouTube channel. And then if you do have any questions for the board or need to talk to us, we usually have a Zoom meeting, and that is scheduled for August 15th. Once again, I appreciate everybody joining us on YouTube. It seems like we have a lot of people watching us, and I appreciate people coming to see us. And then if you do have any other questions about the community sale, please get in touch with us at our email, or if you do go to your website, there is contact information for me as the president. And then just go out on September 16th and 17th and see what's being sold. And then if you don't want to buy anything, please consider joining the Buy Nothing Speedway, because that's another way to share with our neighbors. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.